So, does anyone know what this is a picture of?
Martin
The
Luther
assassination.
assassination.
Come again?
You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination.
Okay. Yes, you are right. You know where it's at?
I don't remember the exact location, but I think it was at a motel.
Yes, Lorraine Motel. So I wanted to start here because today, I want to welcome y'all and talk about what we're here to talk about, and that there's a reason for everything. And I'm going to start off. I just want y'all to basically answer some questions. And here's the first question I would like for y'all to answer is, do you ever wonder what you are doing here? And what I mean here, you take it how you want. College, planet Earth, what? Do any of y'all ever wonder?
Army.
Say that again?
I used to ask myself that when I first got into the Army.
Okay. Okay. And what answer did you have, or what solution? What did you find? What did you think?
It was a bunch of assumptions, but my actual answer came a year after.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured what I was doing here was bettering myself.
Mm-hmm. In the military, you were bettering yourself, right?
Yeah, take an opportunity to better myself.
Okay. All right, that's Troy. I don't know how many people in the room. I can't really look. I'm going scroll through, but who else? Thank you, Troy.
Yeah, I ask myself this question almost every day. Like, what's the bigger picture? Like, why are we here on this planet? Like, am I here to just live, survive, struggle? Like, what's really the point of life? And you can't really find that answer, like, where you're at right now. It'll come in the future, like, when you go through your experiences and stuff.
Well, we're going to talk about that because hopefully after this is all said and done, you're going to have that answer. All right? So, who else? Who else wants to share?
I'd be asking myself this question, but like I answered, I'm searching for growth basically. Like whatever I'm doing, as long as I'm growing in it, then I must be doing something right.
Okay. Well, let me remix it a little bit and ask it this way. Have you ever pondered, or if you have a purpose for living? Your purpose. Y'all young college students right now, what's your purpose of being here? Have you had any trials or tribulations that say, hey, I'm here for a reason? Anybody had a life or death experience make you say, wait a minute, I gotta be here for something. I came through all this. Anything?
I mean, me being religious, I feel like I've had encounters with God. So I do feel like I'm here for a reason. I do feel like every day I wake up, I have to be doing something like in order to fulfill why I'm still living. So, like I said before, it's growth, like a daily thing.
All right. Okay, I'm getting somewhere, don't worry. And then the next one is, do you believe in destiny? Are you destined for something?
Yes.
You mentioned it. You opened up God, so is God put you here to be destined to do what? Do you believe in?
I do believe. Well, destiny. Let me see. I'm gonna get back to you on that one. Hold on.
All right. But go ahead, Troy. You was gonna say something?
I do believe that like we're destined. Whatever God's will tell us that we're destined for, we just gotta do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
You know that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. He'll show you the path. You just got to take it. And if you don't take it, that's on you. God gave us free will to make our own decisions, but he did give you a destiny to be part of his plan.
Mm-hmm.
So you got your plan from him. You just got to have that free will, whether you're going to do it or not. And hopefully you do.
All right. Well, that was the next one because you hinted right to that. And
Can
that
I go
was,
back to destiny?
yeah, sure.
I
Yeah.
do believe in destiny, but I feel like destiny can change like according to what you're doing basically. Like you might have a destiny plan, but you might do something that changes your whole destiny. You know what I mean? Like that changes the route of your life. So basically like destiny is there, but you gotta watch out what you're doing so you could actually fulfill your destiny.
So you gotta be mindful of what the decisions you're making, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about destiny, whatever you do, your destiny is to be great. You just have to figure out how to be righteous while you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna talk about that. So is there a plan for you? So Troy, you basically saying the plan is to be great, huh? No matter what you do, good at it.
Yes.
And oftentimes, where does that come from? Is it self-generated? Is there some motivational factors behind it?
It comes from, it's big part of it is self-motivation, a lot from failure, a lot from trials and tribulations. It's a lot of things that, reaching your destiny and reaching greatness. There's a lot of things you have to do to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it comes from obstacles too. You're gonna have to overcome a lot to get to greatness.
All right, we're gonna talk about all that in a matter of seconds. So the first slide I want to show y'all is y'all know who this gentleman is?
That's whole.
All right. So do y'all know what his one of his mantras was? His personal statements he said?
He said
He
like
used to say it in every song. He used to say it in every song for a while. He said, I will not lose. And that's a personal statement that he has made. And as we all know, he really doesn't take that many losses, right? As he said himself, he got the illest chick in the game. He a billionaire, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will not lose. So what I want to start off today with doing is there's a reason for everything. And I want you to be able to create what I call a personal statement that you're going to follow. So no matter what is going on in society, you will not lose. Does that make sense? So we could take a few minutes to just sit here and think about something that you truly believe in, that you can follow, that will be able to keep you on the right path in whatever you do. So if y'all don't mind, and then we can share, because this is an extremely important piece. You got to have your personal statement, something that you truly believe in, that can identify with who you are, what you believe in, and what allows you not to get sidetracked by outside forces. So, give you what is just think about it for a minute or two, write it down, and then we're gonna share for a little bit, because we're about to go somewhere real deep, especially because it's Black History Month. So, when you're ready, just let me know. Somebody want to share? Be the first to share.
It was something that was told to me my first year in the Army that stuck with me.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Like this old veteran, he was like, you only live once. And if you do it right, that's all you need.
I like that one. Good one.
I didn't know what he was talking about until I started growing as a person. You
Mhm.
realize that a lot of people that live foul, they live more than one life at once.
Mhm.
But if you do it right, you can just be yourself for your entire life. And what you do, that echoes for all eternity.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks. Sure. Anybody else want to share if they're done yet? While we doing
Yeah,
that, while y'all.
I say my personal statement would be giving up is not an option.
Okay. Okay. All right. I love that one. That's something I kind of live by myself.
This would be, guess mine would be, don't give excuses, give results.
Okay. Like that.
I think my personal statement would be to hold myself accountable, basically. Basically, like we hold whenever we do something, we don't really care. But when other people be doing something, we be on them. So look at my life from like a bird's eye point of view.
Mhm.
I have one.
Go ahead.
If you're afraid to fail, then you're probably going to fail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Anyone else? LaShawn? Anybody else? LaShawn? No? All right, well, thank y'all. And I want y'all to hold this because I'm sharing mine with y'all for a minute. My personal statement is I refuse to live an unlived life. And what that basically means is whatever I have interest in, I participate in it. And I try to live it out to its fullest, you know. I definitely believe I was a big Master P fan back in the days. No Limit Soldier. that is it. I thought I told you, you know, have no limits, you know. You don't know how far we can go, and you shouldn't limit yourself to just being in a certain area, certain region, and doing certain things. So, button to go to the next slide. Next slide. So I want to share this gentleman with you. Does anybody know who this gentleman is?
No.
Anyone? What month are we in?
Black History Month.
Black History Month. Okay. So this gentleman that you are looking at is Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson is the originator of Black History Month. It used to be Black History Week. And he has one of the most powerful books ever. And this line that I'm about to share with y'all comes from that book. And I'm sharing this with you because at the beginning of this, the title is Everything Happens for a Reason, right? And then the book is called The Miseducation of the Negro. And this is what he says. Someone want to read that for me, please? Out loud, so we can all follow along.
Yeah, I got you. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. You do not have to tell him not to stand here or go yonder. He will find his proper place and will stay in it. You do not need to send him back. You don't have to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. In fact, if there is no back door, he will cut one for his special benefit. His education makes it necessary.
So, you see, this is somebody who was saying that you can once you control a man's thinking, his behavior, you don't have to worry about anything else. Because if you put pressure on people and you miseducate them, that's what he's talking about. He says education makes it necessary for you to believe basically that you belong in the back. And so many times this has happened specifically for Black men. And that's why I'm telling you there's a reason for everything. So I'm going to start off by showing you that this is all about control. Most of your experiences in life is all about control. And I'll break it down a little bit further. Does everyone know who this gentleman is?
Edgar Hoover.
Definitely a former president, but
He's a former FBI.
oh,
FBI.
He is the FBI. The FBI is in the J. Edgar Hoover building. J. Edgar Hoover is the first person who directed the FBI, right? So this is the gentleman. And I'm going to share this stuff with y'all because when we talk about control, I'm going to explain things for why so many things seem to happen in your reason, happen for a reason in your life. Now, y'all can see this document. A little blurry, beat up. So let me fix it for you a little bit better. Let's look at this really good. Okay. Now, this is a document that was given, basically a memo. And you can read it at the top. It tells you about black nationalists. And this is from the Counterintelligence Agency, which is back in the days, it was called COINTELPRO. All right. And I want y'all to focus on, you can read the first part, but I want to go, is this big enough? Everybody can see this clearly? Look at line 2. Are y'all looking at it? Can you see it? I can't hear you. Is it blurry? Is it blurry? Is it all right? So somebody read line 2 to me, please.
Prevent the rise of a Messiah.
Stop right there. Stop right there. I just wanted you to get to that part. Stop the rise of a Messiah. A lot of things happen for a reason. You know what goes on. You see George Floyd choked out. You see Tamir Rice shot on video. You see how many people do we have named? Trayvon Martin. You hear him on the radio calling, telling the police something's wrong, right? The rise of a Messiah. And in this terms, if we go further, y'all know what a Messiah is? A messenger, a warner, deliverer. All right. Kim says hello. All right. Now, if you read this part, start from the very beginning and read the whole thing. I won't say nothing else. Anybody, somebody, please. I don't know. I saw Troy, you were saying something, right?
I'll read it.
Yeah.
Good. Somebody read it. Read it, baby. And read it nice, strong, and proud.
Prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. Malcolm X might have been such a Messiah. He is a martyr of the movement today. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Elijah Muhammad all aspire to this position. Elijah Muhammad is less of a threat because of his age. King could be a very real contender for his position should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines, nonviolence, and embrace black nationalism. Carmichael has the necessary charisma to be a real threat in this way.
So if we go back at this, you mean to tell me this is the FBI document that they were analyzing? And listen what they're saying. They said Malcolm X might have been the Messiah, but he was a martyr. We all know a martyr, right? What a martyr is. This is what J. Edgar Hoover sent to us. So when we say things happen for a reason, right? Malcolm X became a world leader, educating himself in prison. Martin Luther King, we all know who he is, right? And then they talk trash about him, saying that he's working with white people following nonviolence, right? Then they say Elijah Muhammad is too old, so he ain't gonna be that leader, right? Then they say Stokely Carmichael could be that one, and they went after him so hard. Stokely Carmichael lived in Africa for the rest of his life. He said, I can't be in the United States. They're trying to kill me. And I'm sharing this document with you because things happen for a reason. We have to understand, specifically with Black males and Black History Month, that there's so many things that's out to get you because society doesn't want the rise of that one to carry over. Is that making sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
All right. All right. So we know who this man is, right? Let me just give you another example for those who may not fully believe or understand what I'm trying to deliver to you. So we know who he is, right?
Yeah, we know.
Yes, no? Oh, okay. All right. I need to know. I can't see you, so I need to know. So what he talked about that mountaintop? What he said? What he said? What did he say about the mountaintop? Anybody?
Something
Yeah, I
about
heard.
I've been to the top of the mountain or something like that.
I've been to the top of the mountain. I can see unification, right?
Amen.
But some way, somehow, he was taken out, right? Now you saw the original picture. But let me show you how deep this goes, because again, we're talking about the rise. We are talking about the rise of a Messiah that they did not want. Well, here's the FBI. This is a letter that was sent to Martin Luther King, and it was impersonated by the second in command from the FBI. I think his name was Mr. Sullivan. I think it's Kevin Sullivan, right? He sent this letter to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house. And guess who wound up reading the letter? Huh? Anybody want to take a guess who?
MLK.
Yes, his wife. They sent the letter and his wife read the letter. Now, they could not harm him because we see he was a non-violent man, right? He was an educated man, Dr. King. So the only way they could try to harm him, and this is, you can Google everything I'm talking about. This is called the suicide letter. If you scroll down to the bottom, they told him, you know what you need to do. You need to kill yourself. Do y'all see that there? Or y'all reading?
Yeah, I was reading it.
Now, I'll let y'all read it a little bit. Because I want y'all to understand that there's a reason for everything. And when I show you next what it's all about, I want y'all to realize who you are, and what you need to continue to do for the rest of your life. And once you understand this, things will be a lot simpler and smoother for you mentally. So like I said, if you want to see it, just type in Martin Luther King suicide letter, and you will see it.
Who sent it?
Who sent it? The FBI. I just told you. J. Edgar Hoover, second in command. So they tried to write it as impersonate a black person writing it. That's why it says, I view you as a, and then here comes the separation part. Is a part in the letter that talks about separation. And he says, you're not like, where is it at? Your other clergymen, and how Roy Wilkins, who was a part of the civil rights movement, is a person of better character. So you take two black individuals and try to separate them. That's been going through the same time. If we go to sports, same thing. Can't have, I could tell y'all a quick story. I had a college coach who basically, I never played two black players at the same time. Like that was the rule. You know, if you see two people congregate, or three black people congregate, you always seem to get some type of interruption. And why? Because that goes back to that original letter from J. Edgar Hoover saying, hey, you don't want people to unify because they are scared that somebody's going to get a spark and the Messiah will rise up. Is that making sense? So, if we go to the next slide. Excuse me. We go to the next slide. This is the answer to everything right here. You see this? I want y'all to say my rise. I don't hear nobody.
My rise.
Your rise is their fall. And that is the main issue with this whole entire world and why you experience everything. Because the more you rise, again, I just showed you, J. Edgar Hoover, for example, did not want a black man to rise. You get it? Everything that you experience, we do. Y'all, for example, do you know George Floyd and the gentleman who killed him, the police officer, used to work together? And he was jealous of George Floyd then? But he couldn't wait for that opportunity to get it then. They got into numerous altercations before. But you got to remember that your rise is their fall. Now take color out of it. This is the world. Your rise is somebody else's fall. This is where the conflict comes in between, and this is where the hate comes in. And you got to understand, there's some real haters out here. Real haters. Hate you so bad. So let me tell you how bad people are haters. You see this angel right here? It was once a gentleman, two gentlemen who owned a store, and they was in competition with each other. And God had an angel come to them. And when that angel came to them, he said, or she said, whatever you ask for, I will give it to you, but I will give your neighbor more or double. Okay? So she said, if you want wealth, I'm going to give you wealth, but I'm going to give him double. If you want health, I'll give you a healthy life, but he'll live longer. And people are so green with envy. You know what the person said I will take? He said, well, then take my eye out. Because if he took his eye out, guess what happens to the other person? What happens?
They lose both their eyes.
They lose both their eyes, so they get a worse predicament. That's how greedy and people are and envious of someone else rising. So I want y'all to keep a conscious, keep this in your mind forever. Every time you are trying to rise up your child and tribute obstacles, you know, is because they know at the end of the day you're going to be successful, and that might be their fault. Make sense? Green with envy. Green with envy. So, Troy was saying, despite knowing all this, you can still be successful, right? And you are going to be successful. Now, we all know who this gentleman is. Anybody? Anybody?
Might get it wrong.
It's all right.
Booker T. Washington.
All right, you're absolutely right. And he said about success. Booker T. Washington, right? This man is a man who walked 200 miles just to go to school during slave time, right? 200 miles. Some folks can't even get on the bus to get to school on time. This man walked, and he walked in shoes. He ain't had no comfortable Jordans or anything on. Shoes, right? So read what he says about success, because I have never read a better definition of success, if anybody got one, but it all seems to generate right back to here. Somebody read that for me, please.
Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which he has overcome.
That's right. The obstacles you have overcome. You know, I had a student the other day tell me he had an IEP. What does that mean? Somebody diagnosed you with an IEP. Can you overcome that? Can you overcome that? You are extremely successful by getting an A in that class, even though you have an IEP for math. That is a success. That has nothing to do with, success has nothing to do with money in your pocket, the title you have, the position. It's your ability to conquer something, man. especially knowing that when you rise, you got them haters doing what? They ain't trying to fall. All right?
Come on.
So I'm gonna leave y'all with this one, the greatest rapper of all time. Right? What he said? He said, "What? The world
Money.
It's mine.
is yours. All right?
Whose world is this?
The world is yours. All right. Thank you, Sleeve. Thank
It's your show, brother. I'm just
you." Now, while we are in school, this goes back to success. Y'all know who this gentleman is?
W.E.
D. Du Bois. Yep.
These boys.
Yeah. All right. Now, somebody read what he said here. And I've shared this with y'all a million times, and I'm going to keep sharing it until you really, really understand this. Go ahead. Somebody read this. And Troy, you can't read it. Somebody else, please. Go ahead.
The final product of our training must be neither a psychologist nor a brick mansion, but a man.
But a man. Now, he really wrote this in 1903, but it's 1913 is the book that I had to quote from, so you get the book that I have. That's the pages. Now, when he wrote this, he was writing this because when he's talking about man, he's talking about humans, right? So for the ladies that's here too, this goes for everybody. The final product is not for us to be a psychologist, because a psychologist is just a title. Somebody who studies the brain. Oh, you're a doctor, right? Because you got to be a doctor to be a psychologist. And it's not for you to be a mason, a bricklayer, somebody who's just working, a laborer. The purpose of this is for you to be an intelligent man and woman who can think critically, who knows why these things is happening in their life. To see the picture. He also talks about you have an ability to have double consciousness. And double consciousness is a gift. It's a gift of second sight, where you can see what's going on because you know you Black. And you know you can be treated a certain way in this world because you're Black. But you also know you can be treated in this world because you're an American. This is your ability. This is a God-given ability because everybody has that Black experience. Am I right?
Yep.
No? Nobody has it? I'm hearing crickets.
We hear you, brother. It's on mute.
You're right.
All right. So you got that gift now. You know what it is. They don't want you to be a Messiah. Okay? So he is the first to get his PhD from Harvard University. The second was the originator of Black History. So I like to give people who did it when it was times was extremely rough and giving you the wisdom. The only thing you got to do is follow. Okay? And the reason why I'm giving you everybody to give you a long track is because who's this gentleman right here?
Malcolm X.
All right. And in Malcolm X's book, the reason why I'm giving you everything, right? The title chapter is called Slave. Sorry, I said slave. I meant to say save. Save, right? Slave chapter. And there's a whole context in there. And it says history is used as a weapon. That is, if you go to scholars and everything, that's what it says. History is used as a weapon. Google, look it up. And in the beginning of the text, look what it says. Somebody read that to me. I don't hear nobody. Somebody read it, please.
The teachings of Mr. Muhammad stressed how history had been whitened. While when white men had written history books, the Black man simply had been left out.
Why is that? Because of what? Your eyes?
Therefore,
Ooh.
I can be pertaining to public schools too.
Are there issues about this still to this day? And I'm going to give you case in point. This next slide I'm going to show you, and then I'm done after this. This next slide I'm going to show you. So this is why, number one, Black history is extremely important. The reason why you don't get it The reason why you have to go search it and be that educated person with a conscious mind to say, hey, it got to be somebody who did something. All this stuff out here, we haven't contributed to nothing.
I mean, that
That's
goes
the
down to,
reason, huh? Go
that
ahead.
goes down to families teaching the children too. Like
Mm-hmm.
my father and mother was big on that. So like at a young age, I know that the kings and queens of Egypt, they pharaohs, their monuments, they got their nose blown off, so nobody wouldn't know that they was black.
Because if they did, the people at that time would what?
They were rise. They were big.
Oh!
They realized that they were kings and queens, and they'd be like, wait a minute, this was us. We could do it again. They'll rise.
Napoleon did that, right? Napoleon. Another hater. Okay. So this is why Carter G. Woodson created Black History Week. This is why he tried to tell you when you control a man's thinking. This goes back to why you don't see anything in the books. But the books are out there. The books are out there. The information is out there. You, as an educated person, have to be willing to take the step and continue to rise. You understand? This is not about an institution going to show you. This is about you taking with the information that's at the institution and using it to your advantage. To what? Rise. Last one. Does anybody know who this gentleman is? Crickets. Anybody? Take a stab at it.
I just can't get the name. He looks familiar though.
Anybody? Stab at it.
No idea.
All right. And this is why we talk about the history books. This is why. This is Reginald Lewis, and I'm going to end it on this. We can talk and everything else after. This is Reginald Lewis. Reginald Lewis is America's first black billionaire. He was a billionaire in 1984. All right? And listen to what he says. No skill or vacation is the white man's exclusive province. So this is for those who say, I can't do it. This is for those who say, I am not able to do it, don't want to do it, too scared to do it. The world ain't built for me. That's all BS.
Hey, you remember what I said last semester? If it happened back then, it can happen now. It can happen today. If it happened back then during segregation and the Jim Crow rules, it can happen today.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to make
History repeats itself.
Gotta know it. Because what's the difference from now to today? The thinking is still the same. As Kanye said, I gotta use a Kanye line. Haters have hater kids, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to share with y'all this morning. I also wanted to, or afternoon, I should say, give rest in peace to, y'all know who the home run king is? Does anybody know who the home run king in baseball is?
Is it the one who recently passed away?
Thank you, because I know some sports management people in here. Yeah.
Well, Hank Aaron?
Exactly. Hank Aaron. So Hank Aaron, when he was about to pass Babe Ruth, you know what happened? They start calling him up, sending him death threats. Why? Because he was going to be in history books as what? The best to knock it out the park. The best to knock it out the park. He is still the best to knock it out the park. So I'm sharing this with y'all because while y'all in school here, be the best at whatever you do and knock it out the damn park. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Can you do it?
100%.
Of course we can.
For sure.
Thank y'all for listening. What else y'all want to talk?
Check your
Got
weather.
any questions?
I got one question.
Yes.
As far as like going through school and stuff and everything, children's only taught Black history mainly in February. Do you think that should be expanded throughout the year?
Yeah, because Black history is every damn day, 365.
I personally think Black history is American history.
Come on.
So I think it should be taught throughout the year. 'Cause when I was going through school, and the thing is, you only hear about people like Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, W.E.B. Du Bois, but they don't go into the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you won't know about the Moors that conquered, half the world, including Italy and Sicily, which is the reason why dark Italians exist.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't go into depth, and I think they should.
Well, one place you're going to get that information, Troy, is right here. That's why you got to come. Because we ain't talking about no agenda but our agenda, and our agenda is the American agenda. I've done seen, so when you have your friends and stuff like that, whoever else you know in this school, you tell them to come to the meetings. Even if they're not a student, you tell them to come to the meetings. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have been X'd out. I'll tell y'all a story. Can I tell y'all a quick story? I will never forget this story. I was shopping around for kids from schools for my children to go to. I'm looking around, right? Now I'm from the Bronx, been in terrible public schools, I said my children not going to any public schools. I just wasn't a fan of public schools because I already know the bad treatment, right? So that's my mindset from my experience. So I said to myself, let me go around. So I go to all these different orientations, right? And I went to this school. It's a private school in Hoboken. I think it's called, what the hell is the name of the school? The Stevens School, private school, right? Downtown Hoboken. And I went into the school, and I never will forget this. And it almost changed my whole entire, like, it would have been too much for me to drive from where I live to the school and then find parking, drop the children off. But I will never forget that when I looked at the school, they had a timeline of civilization. And you know what it had at the beginning of the timeline? Where civilization started?
Caveman.
No.
Black people in Africa.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
And this was a predominantly white school. And I said, wow. It almost like I wanted to almost enroll off of that alone. Just like, well, at least they're conscious enough in this Mickey flick.
They don't try to whitewash everything.
So what I'm going to tell y'all right now, all these books that I have referenced right here in this school's library. And all of America's lies and everything that has been taught is in the what?
Library.
So now you get this information. You get to take it, share it, and pass it on. But you got to do more. I just gave you a quick highlight. Because that's what you should be reading about. That's why everybody in this place, you know how many people had to fight? The Black psychologists had to fight for them to have African American history courses in the United States. Forget at the college, in the United States. It was a coalition together so that you could learn about your history. And you know how many times, and if y'all look at y'all know most of the time when y'all got an educational plan, you need a humanities, you know what's on it?
History 106 or 105.
Because this is needed. This is needed.
Another thing is, it's actually hard. Which now I gotta respect, new respect for Black people. It's actually hard when somebody that's written not just Black history, American history, but world history, and when they become whitewashed, it's very hard to put in the history books that he was actually Black. Like you know who Hannibal is?
What?
Great conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to whitewash him until they discovered that he wasn't white, he was Black, and then he tried to say that no, he was Middle Eastern. So it's a bunch of stuff going on with him. They trying to say he's Middle Eastern now. But when you actually dive deep into history, he was Black. So it's a lot. It's a lot we deal with, just as far as like recognizing who the great Black people was back then. It's crazy.
Dr. Williams, can I?
Yes.
Brother Miller.
Mr. Miller, how you feel?
Good. Good afternoon, gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to just commend you, young men who are on this call. I scanned through the gallery and I see a lot of names I've called. I've probably left you messages. Now I get a chance to. I can't see you because you just have your name up, but I'm very glad to see you on the line and you've responded to the call. That's number one. Number two, gentlemen, everything that Dr. Williams has said, I have lived. Everything from J. Edgar Hoover, Dr. King, I have lived. So I'm here to let you know it's truth. That's not made up. It's truth. You see, that's true. That's number one. I'm going to skip from there. The other thing I would like to say is just a little personal transparency. I lived in the South. I went to a segregated school from age 5 to age 10. Segregated school. Everybody in the school was Black. When that was back in the early 60s. But I want to let you know, I came to the North, in Newark, born in Newark, grew up in Georgia, came back to Newark. I want to say this to you. From everyone Black, for the first 5 years of my education, I experienced my first male teacher and first white teacher in the 6th grade at Robert Tree Elementary School in Newark. From then on, I went to high school. I went to it was mixed at that time. 7th Avenue Junior High School was an all-Black junior high school. And I went to Barrington High School, which is almost like Newark down in South Carolina someplace, but that's a whole nother story. But what I want to say to you, I went to Newark State College at that time. It is currently Keene University. I had to go to college, gentlemen, to learn more about Black history. I got more Black history, a better Black history education in a segregated South smaller school than I got junior high school or high school until I took it upon myself. When I went to Newark State College, I took an African American, it was Afro-American at that time. The name has changed. We're still Black. African American, Afro-American, that's what the course was called, Afro-American Studies in 1964. So I'm saying to you, if you want to educate, you have to educate yourself. That's number one. Number two, you have the responsibility to educate. When you have children, you educate your children. I know I was in the school district, Elizabeth Public School District. I will say to you, my greatest fight was to I had a personal fight against February being Black History Month because I knew that there were many other Black people who had made contributions for 366 days. That's when we had a leap year. So I'm saying, you want an education, you have to go and get your education. You are at a place where Dr. Williams just said, you have the convenience of the internet. You have Google. I had to go through the books. I had to go in the library, take a book off the shelf, take it out and read it. You can go online. So I'm saying to you, what you have before you, the tools you have now are tools you have to take advantage of. I'll say you can do it. There's another one of my sayings. It's hard, but not impossible. It is hard. I'm not going to tell you a lie. It is hard, but not impossible if you want it. And while my time is counting down, I'm like the old-fashioned preacher now in my closing. This really is my closing. Stop, Dr. Williams. My purpose, what I believe I'm here for is, I believe that my purpose is to live an authentic life in Christ that will impact the lives of others. And gentlemen, I started my education. I started out teaching as a profession. It turned out to be a ministry of a love of children, an advocate for children. I have a love for learning and a love for parents. I'm saying to you, whatever your area is, be the best that you can be. You have to change the mindset. C won't cut it. Make A's your goal. You can cut out some of the things you're doing. How are you using your time? Because, brothers, this time you're in right now, you have, please shift your thinking. It's a mindset. I want to make a whole lot of money. So what? You make a whole lot of money and you don't have any stability. You don't have any life. You don't have any family. But make sure that you get the best all you can get out of your education. And you know what? Dr. Williams hit a point. When you're rising, if you get a chance, read Maya Angelou's poem. If you haven't read it, if you read it, Still I Rise. Put yourself in that poem. Make your own personal story, Still I Rise. Because each of you have value. Each of you are appointed. You are important. If somebody said to you at some point in your life, you're not going to amount to anything, they're a liar. You're here on purpose. You have a purpose. You're not an accident. So I want to just to let you know, Dr. Williams is putting on, these are the people, some of them that I taught about the times I was in education, Elizabeth. And some of these people I had to find out after I left high school. So gentlemen, I'm just proud of you. That's all I got to say. I think, thank you, Dr. Williams. I'd like to thank Salim. I see other people. The people you see on this screen, young man, are people who care about you. They're here in your corner. If they have to pull you to the side to talk to you, that's because they care about you. They're not going to talk about you. They will talk to you, not at you. There's a difference. Take advantage of what you have at Union County College with these people, these staff members, these advisors, as you prepare to go to the next level. Shoot for the top, gentlemen. Don't go just to slide by. Please don't slide by. You want to be at the top of the game. Closing, Amanda Gorman. Amanda Gorman. I won't say anything else. God bless you, brothers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So is there anything anyone would like to say? I'm going to put this in the chat. Here's a list of inventors, or Black inventors that I just wanted to share with y'all. I used to have to study this as a kid from my grandmother. So it just makes me laugh when I look at this, that I'm sharing this now. And the fact that, you think about our uniqueness. If you know anything, maybe y'all don't. I don't know who's sweeping trash in the house, but we used to have to sometimes create a dustpan out of records. The record cover sheet. Only a few of y'all would know that. Zalima, I see you, Zalima, laughing. But that was our dustpan, but it was already in our blood because we the originators of the dustpan. I'm laughing right now because of the gas mask. Just imagine right now if he was alive, how much he'd be caking off of making a darn knife, you know? But it just makes me laugh. So I'm gonna put this in the chat, and if it doesn't fit. But anybody else got anything to say or share? You know.
Well, Dr. Williams, before I leave, because I have another meeting I got to go to, and I want to just hang out a little bit. But to the gentlemen that are on the call, and even our other staff that's here, and hi, Mr. Miller, it's good to see your face.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, it's good to see you. And I just wanted to say, really quick that I'm not on campus like I used to be when it came to y'all being able to come. We're all not, like, being able to come in and out and in and out. And I don't see y'all like I really would want to see you all. And, you know, we know that you're doing the remote, but I do want to say this to you. I want you to always know, remember my name, know how to reach me, know that I'm always here, even when I'm not on campus. If I'm doing remote or I'm coming back in on campus, or if you're remote or you're back on campus, I am always here for you. I've always been involved with Project Achievement. And many of you are probably newer students, so you haven't had, you know, the opportunity to meet me, but my name is Ms. Chief, so this is one of them. And just, you know that I'm always for you. I'm in your corner. I'm a big proponent of educating our young men and making sure that you all are prepared to do and be the greatest that you can be and do. And one thing that you know, during this whole, you know, we're talking about Black History Month, one thing that's really prevalent or important even to me is for you to know that you are walking history makers, like right now. Like that's what you have, like the greatest gift. And you know, Dr. Williams touched on it, and I don't think it wasn't W.B. Du Bois, and it wasn't Washington, I'm not sure which one it was, but about knowledge. And when you have the knowledge and people know, if you have knowledge, then that's where your strength is. And once they can keep that knowledge from you, anybody, once you allow somebody to control your mind and keep knowledge from you, then you've given them the rights to your life, period. And so you have to remember at all times that you are, and if you're in the church or you like God, but besides God, who's the author and finisher of your faith, if you are in control of all that you do, it is up to you and you alone. And if you want greatness, then you say it. If you want to be greatness, then you say it. You walk in what you want, and you don't let nothing or nobody or no circumstance tell you differently. Okay, so I just want to tell you I love you, and I'm encouraging you from this point on. If you ever had any doubt about who you were and who you are, erase that right now and start again, and know that you are of greatness and you're walking in greatness, and there is nothing you cannot accomplish. So I'm going to head on out. I got a meeting. Like I said, reach out to me. You can email me. You can call me. I don't care. If you need any information, get it from Mr. Williams or Dr. Williams, the two Williams, and then you got Mr. Miller.
Williams
Like I said, Williams and Williams, W squared. I mean, I don't know. You know, I have a group now. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you know, or you with Mr. Miller, anything, you know, just let me know. I love you all, and you know, God bless you, and I look forward to it. And whatever y'all got, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So anybody else want to say something? Our next meeting, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. All right.
I just want to say, because like Dr. Williams is a man, you know, and I'm always about giving people flowers. I'm always about giving people flowers while they're here. I really appreciate Dr. Williams. He has a lot of knowledge, and he gives a lot of you know, just words of encouragement while he's here. He's a great asset to Union County College. I don't know if everybody noticed that yet. Probably didn't know today. And just thank you, Dr. Williams, just for that history lesson, because there's a lot of stuff that I guess a lot of our brothers didn't know that they learned today. You know, even me, I learned stuff today. I didn't know about the suicide letter from Martin Luther King. I should know that kind of stuff. So just that little bit, that's just that little bit of information is amazing to hear. It feels good to just sit back and listen. Didn't have to say anything. It's just like, it was just dope just being able to just listen to this conversation, just soaking in all this knowledge. So I really appreciate you, my brother. Just keep guiding, keep motivating, keep pushing us to greatness, brother. And let's just this is just the first event for Black History Month. We have a lot more coming forward throughout the month. So we look forward to seeing all y'all. And bring a friend. Bring a friend, bro.
Bring a friend.
Anybody else want to say anything? So next up, we have two. On the 10th, our meeting is going to be about entrepreneurship. We're going to teach y'all how to start a business if you really want to get into it. All right. And then the second one, on the 17th, we're having a guest speaker that we would like for y'all to participate in. And he's going to talk about money and managing money. It's open for the whole school. So we want to, I'm going to be sending y'all something else pretty soon too. So check your email about getting some sizes for students so we can start supplying y'all with your apparel. So we got to be fresh and fly, even if it say Union County. You know, as the I'm not in the fraternity, but as the alpha say, you got to be razor sharp. So, anything else? Everybody else okay?
One more thing I'd like to add. You had a slide about statements, but I couldn't answer because there was so much background noise.
Oh, I'll send it to everybody. I get your emails when you log in and stuff, so I know who's here. I will send it to you, and it's all the investors of previous years.
I think you should make a point.
Huh?
I think Daniel was trying to make a point.
Oh.
I was gonna give you my statement.
I'm sorry. I thought you said you didn't see it.
Mine is enjoy the journey, not the destination. Yeah, that's all.
Enjoy the journey, not the destination, you said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And people don't realize that's the best part, because once you reach your goal, you're there. You're gonna have to make another goal. So you have to make the journey.
That's a lot of things that happen in business. Y'all see Jeff Bezos from Amazon, and he's stepping down as the CEO. Now he can learn how to try to do something else, maybe. Same thing with Puffy and Russell Simmons and Jay-Z. After a while, you're the top rapper in the game. What else can you do? All right, maybe I'm gonna do alcohol. Maybe I'm gonna be an agent. Because again, the world is yours.
Enjoy the process.
And what I was trying to really show you is that it's haters everywhere. It's haters in your own family, because you might have a brother or sister don't really want you to go to school, because if you go to school, they look bad. You understand what I'm saying? Your rise as they fall, even though I talked it in somewhat of a race perspective, but it's the truth in all matters and affairs. That's why when you go back, I'll put up the document again. You look at it, it clearly says the FBI does not want people to unify. They didn't want people to unify. Why? For the scale of a black Messiah. Think about that. So if you in a room, it's 5 brothers in here talking about chemistry and how to make a cure for cancer. They don't want that. Somebody comes always interject. But here it is, you making a cure for cancer. Y'all having a conversation, because they know if you make that cure for that cancer, who becomes the billionaire?
The black man.
It's simple. It's a cold world, but this is life.
I got that. I know. I caught it. You thought I didn't catch it. I caught it.
That's Fat Joe Bronx, lady.
Yes, sir.
But once one of us rises, we all rise. I feel like people don't really realize that. They just look at someone winning, they're not winning.
That's insecurity, though.
Exactly. It's all that.
That was insecurity. If you're comfortable with yourself, if you're comfortable with what you're able to do and your passion, it doesn't matter what anybody else does on the outside. You're gonna be okay.
Exactly. You'll stick to your lane. Stop minding other people's business.
Yeah.
You just gotta know, man.
Have somebody learn from that so they can uplift themselves.
Oh, but my mantra really was it's a quote that Dr. Wells even sees me put in my in my emails. You're born looking like your parents, but you die looking like your choices. And I use that all the time because every choice that I make, I know I'm not the only one being affected. My family's being affected, my children being affected, and my legacy. And what I really want from the future is basically my legacy to drive my children to greatness. So all the good that I did, it provides some blanket for if I'm no longer here, they say, "Oh, you Salim's daughter," or "Oh, you Salim's son," and that'd be the protection, right? That'd be a staple for them as well. So that's really what I want, just for my family to be good. So I'm in a different part of my life now. Like maybe about 10 years ago it'd be something different, but where I'm at now is just basically about family and making sure my children, my daughter, my son, my wife, everybody's good. Everybody's successful, everybody's comfortable. And yes, I am married. So that's where I'm at right now in my life. So but yeah, is that it, Dr. Williams?
Yeah, unless anybody else wants to share, I really just wanted to make that crystal clear for y'all, and y'all to go look at the documents yourself. All you got to do is Google Martin Luther King suicide letter, and all you got to do is Google FBI, Cohen Protel, J. Edgar Hoover, Black Messiah. That's all you got to do. It's right there for you. They have the information, and you can read the whole full document if you want. Depending on what website you go to. The one I got that from is from the intelligence agency website.
What you think about that Black Messiah movie that's coming out? What you think about that Black Messiah movie that's coming out?
Here we go with the hate. They hated Daniel because he was the lead actor in it. They was hating against him because he's British or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But he's still a black man. Like they don't have issues in British, in Europe and stuff, in England. It's hate, man. It's clear as day. Jesus had to be a black man. They hated on him. Come on, man. That's simple. Oh, you ain't healing nobody. Who you healing? Who you talking about? Wipe your eyes. You can see now. Well, I'm telling y'all today, wipe y'all eyes. Because you can rise, and the world does not want to see you rise. And that's why all this stuff happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the goodness and the greatness of God exposes that. And we can just talk about, since we got time, we're supposed to be here at 3, but whatever y'all want to do. But how do y'all, we didn't talk about this in our last meeting, but how did y'all feel about the Capitol rise? The riot.
You know what's crazy? I thought that was the White House at first. Over here, like they let white people do anything.
I got sniped. You're not stepping anywhere near that.
It served no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you stormed the Capitol, but Biden still got confirmed as president. You did that for nothing.
Yeah, they gained nothing.
It served no purpose at all. All it did is make yourself look worse.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, that it was a low-key good thing that they did that, because now like people realize the differences between like black and white now. They see, oh, once a black person does something, they're honest, but white people wait like 3 hours and they'll be like, okay, time to but it highlighted the differences to me.
I don't think a riot into the Capitol building should show the difference between black and white. I think we should have been seeing that, but it is like I was telling Dr. Williams the other week. I said my mother been saying that God is really swift in his actions nowadays. So it doesn't take 2 years for you to compare the two riots, Black Lives Matter and a Trump supporter riot. It doesn't take too long for you to compare the two and to see the difference between how the police respond to a black riot compared. And I ain't going to even call it a riot. I'm just going to call it us stand up for our rights. a black outcry compared to a white outcry. It's two different things. So you was able to actually see those in a close proximity. So you were able to see like, damn, there's a big difference of how they handle us compared to how they would handle anyone else. But but for most people, it shouldn't take that for us to see that there's a huge difference in terms of how police black people compared to white people.
And during the Black Lives Matter thing, they were saying that the rioting, whatever, like was a main part of our movement or whatever. Like they were chatting, but not all of us rioted. We all most of us walked like peacefully. And then you see in the Capitol, all they did was try to go in. Well, not all they did. It was violent trying to go in and do all that stuff. That was their main goal, right? Then they all enter and they were all chilling. I don't know where they're sitting, like that office and stuff, but
I don't know.
We're the problem, apparently.
I talked to Dr. Williams about this. I paid less attention to the writers and I paid more attention to the response. And when you look at the police, the response, you look at them in the hallway chilling, relaxing, giving the rioters time to like go into the different sets of the building, telling them, hey, I'll give you 5 minutes to check this out and then you got to leave. Those kind of conversations made me see what really was happening. So I really want y'all to, if y'all can do your homework and actually look at the police more, look at how they responded, look at how they dealt with those rioters when they got into a building, a Capitol building, a government building, a building that is holding so many important people. Just look at how they responded is a very important piece that y'all need to pay attention to. You know, so
that's the obligation. As far as like the military goes, if your post is at Capitol Hill, this goes with both sides, Black Lives Matter and Trump supporters, Proud Boys and all, and Tifa too. No matter what's your stance, or whether you're on the right or left, your obligation is protect that building and everybody in it. So
with your life too.
They should, huh?
Probably with your life too. Like you got protected with your life. You took the job.
That's your obligation. Once you take that sworn oath, that becomes your obligation, and that's for military, policemen, firemen, and all.
That's a fact.
Every oath goes has everything to do with protecting the American people and its property.
Troy, I wanted to share this. I put this up real quick just so y'all can see it. This is a document that was sent out. You see how old it is, right? If you read and scroll through it, even got baby Newark up in here. Look what it said right here. This is our basic conclusion. What does it say?
Our nation is moving towards two societies, one black, one white, separate and unequal.
This was given to the President of the United States, man. So come on, man. They know these things are known already. See, just as sometimes when I tell Salim about there's no need to argue or talk about some of this stuff, is because if things really wanted to be changed, they would be changed. You know, just to go you how history repeats itself, somebody said that earlier. Black Lives Matter was considered a hate group and was being investigated by the FBI. You phrase Martin Luther King and SNCC and John Lewis and all that, the same thing. When they were growing up, they were investigated and considered a hate group. Do you see? So obviously somebody ain't doing the learning. But the point is you should. Because again, that's how you destroy it. You know, I always want to say this. If we have more people in the court system, on the force, making the decisions, and the only way we can do that is by it being more and more. And that's why they give you challenges with education. And I have to always commend Union County College because the goal of Project Achievement is to remove all of those barriers. If you don't have these barriers, only thing you got to do is succeed. And you will get ahead. And then sometimes you look around and be like, well, whose fault is it? It's nobody's fault. If you were at the top of the world, would you want to go down? Yeah, crickets. Would you want to go down if you were at the top of the world?
No. Probably avoid that.
So that's all you see happening every day. You know? And once we mindful of that, once you know it, I mean, you're going to, at the end of the day, it becomes comical because you already know what it is. Like I said before, gift. You got the gift. You're born with the gift. Not a lot of people could do what we do. Not a lot. I'm feeling good when I run outside and just jump in the snow. So, you don't have to go any longer. You can continue this meeting, but definitely come to the next meeting and tell everybody because we really going to talk about how to start your own business. Okay? Because I'll tell you a quick story. I had a student here talking about he's selling t-shirts and he making clothes and all that, and it costs so much. And it just made me laugh because you could do that almost for free. So leave me on that though. Come on, man. You can do it for free. You can do it for free. But we'll talk about all that stuff. I want y'all to have a good weekend, good year, and every day y'all should be looking up somebody new for Black History Month. Somebody new, you know, because there's so much history. I mean, in whether it's sports, whether it's just politics, whether it's education, whatever. I mean, there is not one field we have not been successful at, but you don't know it because it's not promoted. So you have to do the research to find out. Anybody else got any other thing to say? Y'all feel good? Y'all feel refreshed? Y'all learned something?
Definitely learned a couple things.
Same.
All right.
You said next week is going to be about entrepreneurship.
Yep. I know that's what you're interested in doing too. We're gonna talk about it. Because the other thing behind that is no job can just do it alone. You know?
Yep.
You know, we was talking. No job is can't do it just with one job. You know? Gotta have something of your own. Ownership. All right. All right. Anything else? Ladies, y'all didn't say anything. Y'all all right? Y'all got anything y'all want to share? Yes, ma'am. Okay. And I'll see y'all next week. Every class is going.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Dr. Williams. Sorry, I had some calls with students. I'm multitasking, but I did catch the majority of your presentation. It was excellent. Hold on a second. Let me get my video. So, yeah, I think it was great to share that information. There's most likely a lot of information that many people are not aware of because you definitely have to dig for it. It's not, as you mentioned, it's not presented in schools. And they really don't want it to be presented. It's kind of like the less you know, the better, because then you don't know how great you are. So to all the students, I hope you really embrace it and continue to explore it, dig deeper. You really have to take it upon yourself. When I went to my undergraduate program at Rutgers University in New Brunswick, I took every African-American history class I could find because it just wasn't given. I mean, I learned about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. So I definitely encourage you to take it upon yourself to explore that in depth. Get the books, go to the library. You don't have to buy all of them. Search online. You can even search articles online to look at the research that's been done. And the more you fill yourself with that knowledge, you fill your toolbox, the more empowered you're going to feel. And that's so important. No one could ever take that away from you. So keep developing your greatness. Oh, and by the way, I don't think I know most of the names on the screen, but I'm Sharon Sparks. I'm one of the advisors in the EOF department. Working mostly remotely right now, so my face is not seen on campus lately since we've been in the pandemic, but I definitely hope to meet you sometime soon. Thanks, Dr. Williams. Hey, Celine.
Welcome, thanks.
I see Mr. Miller is on. I miss seeing you, Mr. Miller. I hope you're well.
Thank you. I miss you all too.
I miss you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go back on mute because I have background noise, but thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, in more news, LeBron James was heckled.
LeBron James what?
Was heckled.
Courtside Karen.
You know, just shut up and dribble. Just shut up and dribble. Why they tell him to do that? You know what I mean? Come on. Amazing.
If anything, I'll be talking more after somebody tell me that. Oh, just up and all right. You just do it.
You know. So, only thing I'm saying, man, we could be great. Just be great. It's in every last one of us. Find your niche, have a purpose, and just, we can't get upset about when people are trying to stop us. You just got to know that is all by design. That's it. So, I appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next week, like I said.
Let's see you next week.
All right. Y'all take care, everyone.
You too.
Get a friend.
All
Great
right.
job, Dr. Williams. Great job.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Gentlemen, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Later.